But you know what time it is.
I do know what time it is. It happens to be time for everybody's favorite show, Jerry and J. Rob Cover It All.
Well done, sir. Well done. Well, beautiful day today. A little cool.
It is a beautiful day. A lot nicer than some of the days we had this week. I'm kind of over the cold and the chill.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for the hot,
Ooh.
but I do like the nice.
I'm not into the hot anymore, man. It's just I'm done with that stuff. I'm done with that stuff. But it is springtime in Central Texas, and it's beautiful outside.
It is.
Blue bonnets everywhere. The wildflowers are everywhere. I see everybody between here and Marble doing the yearly photos and taking pictures of the longhorns and the flowers and all that stuff. So it's a beautiful time of year in Central Texas. That's
Lots
for sure.
of photo opportunities here in God's country.
That's right. That's right.
And lots of opportunity to get out. And we like to get the old cars out and just cruise.
It's true.
Maybe find a little hamburger stand or something and just hang out.
Yeah. Yep.
It's always fun.
Well, speaking of which, we got the car out yesterday to shoot some video stuff, and then we also did some commercials or some videos for some commercials. So if you get an opportunity, go to Facebook and check out BTX Coffee, and you're going to see our first commercial that we got out. It's a little on the I don't know, playful side. You know, it's not too serious, but I think you'll enjoy the commercial, and we got a few more coming out.
But, you know, I also found it very informative.
Did you?
Yes, because, you know, as a coffee connoisseur myself, I had at least an idea about the ingredients.
Yes.
But what I learned from that commercial was invaluable. And so everyone should go and check it out. Like the page and follow.
Yes, we don't use certain trees. That's for sure. If you get a chance to watch it, it's great. Jason does a good job on that one. All right, so, you know, we were talking a while ago offline about occurrences in the world and things that are happening on the world stage, and we have plenty to talk about if that's what we wanted to talk about. But it kind of got my attention this morning because you were talking about something during a church, and you were talking about Job, and most of us know the story of Job and how that came to be, and you mentioned the ruin part of it.
Yeah, so, you know, for those of our listeners who may not know the story of Job, Job was a man whom God's own testimony of his life was that he was a man that was upright and feared God and eschewed or hated evil. And he was always seeking to serve God, to be pleasing to God, and put God first in his life. And the devil came along, said, listen, if you'll let me, I'll get Job to curse you to your face. And so God allowed some ruin to come into Job's life. Job lost all of his material wealth, his cattle, his oxen, his sheep, his camels. That was the measure and the standard for wealth in that day. He lost all of his servants except for the ones who came one right after another to tell him what had happened. And his 7 sons and 3 daughters were killed. Not to mention the fact that his wife's heart was turned, and she told him, just curse God and die.
Right.
Job had sores and boils from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. His 3 friends came to, quote, comfort him. And really, they just came to accuse him of having some kind of secret sin. You know, Job, for this to happen, you got to have done something.
Right.
But basically, you know, Job's reaction to it all was not one that we find a lot, or even one that we might expect. You know, a lot of times when we face hardships and when ruin comes into our life, the tendency is to blame God. The tendency is to, you know, compromise in the moment to try to find some kind of a relief, or to just outright quit.
Right.
But Job chose to maintain his integrity. He chose not to change, not to compromise. and instead to rise up and to stay committed. And so, ruin comes to all of our life. We're all going to face times of struggle and hardship when things don't go the way we would like them to go. Certainly when we lose materially or we lose loved ones, relationships fail, we struggle financially, and we've seen some of that financial issue come up this week. And I'm sure that some people right now are feeling the ruin
Right.
in their life.
Right.
And we all have those situations, but the thing is, it's the choices that we make during that time that really reveal our character and make the difference in us being just utterly cast down or going on and actually doing greater things, even though we face those hardships.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, you were talking about that, and it's funny. I had read Job recently, so I've read it several times, but I read it recently, and the last time I read it, what I found of interest was the amount of beratement his friends gave him, like how long it was. I mean, it just kept going.
Yeah.
Like these guys just didn't give up. They just kept arguing with him, right? And I was like, wow, it's a good supportive group there. But it's loss. Loss is a big deal. People experience loss every day, and we were talking about the bank situation this week, and there's a lot of upheaval about it, and people are, investors, I guess, are potentially going to lose some substantial money. The way I look at money and loss is that you can always go make more money. It's not the end of the world. It's, even no matter how bad it gets, you can probably almost always recover in some fashion. But then we talk about family and kids, right?
Right.
You've lost a child.
Yes. We actually have 9 in heaven that my wife and I lost during pregnancies and in between the children that we do have now. And so that's difficult, to say the least. I don't. There are people out there who actually got to spend time with their children and lost them, right. And that's got to be a different kind of heartache, I'm sure. But I can deal with a lot of things. I could lose my home, I could lose my vehicles, all the money I have in the bank. I'm like you. We can go make more. Mm-hmm. We can build again. We can buy again. That's all nothing. But when I read about Job losing his children, to think about, losing the children that I have now, that's something for me that is unfathomable, and I really couldn't get my mind around it. And I hope that it's not something I'll ever have to face.
Right.
But like I said, in any instance of heartache, hardship that comes into our lives, we have a choice. And unfortunately, many choose to use that opportunity to blame God, or get angry and quit doing right. And that's a big thing for me. Is it's never right to quit doing right.
Right.
No matter what hardships we face in life, what troubles that we've had. I know your family struggles a lot medically, and yet here you are. You keep going, keep serving, keep trying to help other people. And people would look at probably y'all's situation and go, man, if you just locked yourself behind closed doors and
right.
never did anything for anybody else again, you'd be justified. But
right.
that's not necessarily the case, because God has called us to be salt, to be light. He has a purpose for us out here and helping others.
That's right.
And trying to reach others.
And let me add to that, that would be the easier thing to do. It would be more comfortable. And I think society and even our friends and family would even let us be justified in doing those things. But it's not what we're meant to do. We're not meant to crawl under a rock. It's my experiences are not necessarily unique to me. Like there's other people that have experienced what I go through, and they experience the expense of it, the problems that it occurs, how it changes your life fundamentally. And I'm speaking about cystic fibrosis in particular. Financially, it's just, you want to talk about ruin, that'll ruin you. I mean, if you don't have some help or have some insurance, that's really great. Because there's a young lady that posted a kind of a pictogram statement on Facebook the other day, and it's a friend of mine. She has undergone sinus surgery as well as I have, and she put down the expenses of our medications.
The face peeling,
the whole
surgery?
face, yes,
Yeah.
face off removal, the real version, not the
Yeah.
TV version, but the real one. Yes, she did the same thing. And in fact, she's been on the show. It was Britt. You've met her before.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And she posted the expenses of medications, and it's ridiculous. I mean, it's like $2 million a year per person, and in my house, it's 3 people. So that could easily ruin somebody, right?
Right.
It could easily be a difficult path to get on. Your wife has lupus. I don't know when she became officially diagnosed, but at one point she was pretty, probably in pretty okay shape and doing all right. And then something went south, and then you guys figured it out. That's not good news to hear on the phone, right?
Right.
What do you do in that moment? It's all right. Shut down for a minute. Maybe have a cry about it. Maybe try to figure out what you're going to do and
Sure.
how you're going to lean on God for that. But at some point, we got to get back up and get moving. And we also got to be grateful for the things that we still have, and grateful for the circumstances we still live in, even if they're not pleasant, even if they're not comfortable. So, having lost some kids, I've never lost any kids, and that's not, like I said, I hope I never experience that, just like you said. But that could easily ruin somebody, right? And
Right.
we would justify that. I would have a hard time saying, to somebody, hey, you need to get up. I know you just lost your kid, but you need to get up and get moving. We're not going to say that.
Yeah.
It would be easy to just sit down and be done. And I think there's a lot of people that experience that. And there's a lot of people that experience that and don't have a support system. But for me, internally, and I think that's because of my relationship with God, that we got to keep going. We got to keep pushing.
Right. And so for me, it's, and I know for you as well, we have our faith to lean on. I know that some of our listeners may not ascribe to the same beliefs that we hold. But regardless, you have to make a decision when troubling times come into your life to not give up, to
That's
not
right.
quit, and to persevere, because again, somebody is counting on us, somebody's looking to us, somebody is depending on us, and something tragic happened yesterday in our neighborhood. We had one of our neighbors, I found out, took his own life. And I don't know what the circumstances of his own life were, but that's, that's a tragic thing. Either way you slice it, life, for any reason, is majestic and great and wonderful and something to be cherished.
Right.
But for a person to get to the place in their lives where they feel like that's the only way out is very, very saddening. And we're praying for the family, but that's not the road that I ever want to take. And I'm not bad mouthing anybody for that has gone down that path, but it's kind of like, you either quit and give up and check out, or you have to get up and keep going through the ruin, through the hardship.
Right.
And, we want to encourage as many people as we can to keep going.
Yeah. So I'll jump in right there, because I've had opportunity in my life to actually, for one reason or another, been associated with many suicide scenarios and scenes and stuff like that. And I can tell you right now, every time I've been at one of those, I've always wondered what was going on, what was happening in their life that they felt like this is the only opportunity that they had to escape it, whatever it was. But if you're in that boat today, let me just tell you, you have value. You absolutely have value. Your life has value. And what people tend to do in these situations is really not think about the others around them. They get caught up in their own dealings and just assume that it would be better for everyone. It's not better for everyone. It leaves a lot of heartache. It leaves a lot of wake that people have to go through and deal with and have to try to work themselves around and try to understand how this came to be. And it's not helping anybody. So if you're in that boat, once again, you have value. Somebody needs you. You may not think so, but there's somebody out there that still needs you.
Yeah, and to tag onto that, reach out to somebody, get some help. We're here for you.
Sure.
Any way we can.
Send us an email.
Shoot us an email. We'll get back with you and do what we can. But just like we were saying, reacting to ruin, reacting to the hardships and the troubles. It's always a choice. And so one of the things that has helped me to overcome, or not really to overcome, but to find the help that I need in those situations. Of course, I lean on my faith, but we always talk about the importance of having that support system. Not the kind of support system Job had.
No, probably not those guys.
Job's friends didn't really do a great job of bringing him any real comfort and help. But we should have people in our lives that we can lean on, that we can converse with, that can give guidance or wisdom or just be a listening ear. So make sure that you find those people in your life.
Very good. Very good. Well, I would agree. Stay busy. Don't sit down. Keep moving. That'll help you out as well. But life has value. You're important. You're important to somebody else. And like I said, there's always somebody watching. No matter where you are in the grand scheme of things, there's always somebody watching and basing their decisions off what you do.
Yeah.
It's hard to accept that a lot of times. And it's not anybody's fault that somebody might be following them, but it happens nonetheless. So be careful what you say and what you do and how you react to things. But even in ruin, that's right. Even in ruin, you can still succeed. You can still be a value. You still are a value, and keep on keeping on. What else you got?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, I expect to see some wheelies on this motorcycle coming up before too long.
Oh, I've kept my eye on Marketplace. Found a few things. Yeah.
It's got a pretty wide range of scams in there.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Yes,
I'm learning what to look for that doesn't quite, the things that don't quite add up. But yeah, I did complete my motorcycle course and got my motorcycle license, and hopefully I'll be able to get a bike soon. Get out there on the open road,
cruising with the wind in your scalp.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys have a great week. Don't forget that we are opening BTX Coffee the 1st of April, first week or so of April. And then we will be doing this podcast live on Wednesday mornings. Love for you to join us and be there and interact with us. It means a lot to us as well. So have a great week. Take care of yourself.
Till next time.